We're throwing everything we have at this. We're using helicopters, we're using planes, we're using drones, we're using people on the ground and searching.
Tonight, the search continues for a Metis mushroom picker who hasn't been seen in 8 days.
When the Haudenosaunee are playing, people want to watch because they know that they're going to see a fun game.
Plus, the Haudenosaunee team is perfect through the round robin at the 2022 World Junior Lacrosse Tournament.
When I heard it, my sister actually brought over a clip from it, and literally my body just went into a tingle.
And a lemonade stand on the Curve Lake First Nation is so popular, it was featured on an American talk show.
Good evening, Tansei, and welcome to APTN National News. I'm Daryl Stranger. A unique project to commemorate victims of violence has launched in Nova Scotia. Survivors of MMIWG made Mi'kmaq peak caps to honor loved ones who died. Angel Moore explains.
This is Marilyn Francis of the Acadia First Nation. She made this peak cap in honor of Anna May Akwash, who was fatally shot in 1975. Francis says Akwash taught her how to harvest fiddleheads as a youth.
And oh my God, they were so delicious. After that, and she even made fun of me. She goes, "Oh, I thought you didn't like fiddleheads." I was going back for more, right? And it was delicious, and I don't know, and it always just reminded me of Anna May. So.
The peak cap honors those lives taken by violence. Traditionally, peak caps told the story of the woman who wore them.
I put the sun here for Anna May because her name was Nagu Sedebi. So I put the sun there. And this big fiddlehead here represents Anna May. And the little fiddleheads are her two daughters.
Community members and supporters gathered in ceremony in the Millbrook First Nation, outside the home of Nora Bernard, who died by violence in 2007. Bernard's daughter, Natalie Glode, launched the project to commemorate her mother.
We need to stand up. We need to speak our truth. And even if you shake, speak your truth.
The Women of First Light, a nonprofit organization, organized the project. Karen Bernard of the Waigogama First Nation helped the women make the caps. Photos of the caps taken by photographer Erin Falkenham are on display, not the caps themselves.
A lot of energy from a person that has created them in memory of that individual is sacred. You just don't touch those. And that's why they've been photographed, and that's why they are pictured around the room like this.
Therese Falkenham of Truro was impressed.
They're so vibrant and they're so real. It's like you're looking at the real peaked hat. It's just fantastic.
The photos of the peak caps are hoped to be displayed in a museum as part of awareness and memory of MMIWG. Angel Moore, APTN National News, Millbrook First Nation, Nova Scotia.
RCMP and family members remain hopeful a missing Metis mushroom picker will be found safe in east central Saskatchewan. 74-year-old Lois Chartrand of White Fox has been missing since August 4th, and the search continues. APTN's Leanne Sanders has more.
Oh, we always have hope, but I don't think it's going to turn out very good. It's been too long now.
It's been 8 days since Lauren Terry saw his wife Lois Chartrand. She had headed out with a friend to pick mushrooms northeast of Smeaton and was last seen in these dense trees. RCMP Staff Sergeant Conrad Logan says the rugged and remote area has been scoured over the past week.
We're throwing everything we have at this. We're using helicopters, we're using planes, we're using drones, we're using people on the ground and searching. We're using forward-looking infrared. We're going to continue to do that until we've exhausted every effort possible. And every day we reassess.
Chartrand and her friend were communicating with walkie-talkies because there's no cell service in the area. Police were able to speak to her early on August 5th, but there's been no contact since. Ground searchers have had to navigate rough terrain, including muskeg, sand, and water, and a variety of adverse weather conditions, including a storm the night she went missing. Logan says search dogs were out again yesterday.
They're just covering off a lot of area that we want to get to take another look at, and even some other areas where we haven't got to yet. We don't know. It could be 2 square miles, it could be 5, it could be 10 square miles. We're just not sure exactly where she is. Somebody that gets turned around the bush, I mean, if you get turned around and you start wandering, you can cover off a fair amount of distance in a very short time period.
Lauren Terry says picking has been one of Chartrand's favorite activities for years, and they're baffled by her disappearance.
She was experienced enough in the bush to know how to get out of it. Now, why? I don't know.
Leanne Sanders, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
There are new developments in the Fairy Creek old growth logging protests on Vancouver Island, BC. 4 groups involved in the protest filed a complaint against the RCMP. They are calling on the RCMP civilian oversight body to start an investigation of police actions. The Rainforest Flying Squad and Legal Observers Victoria were among the groups that submitted a complaint to the chairperson of the Civilian Review and Complaints Commission. Allegations include denying Indigenous people access to their territories and implementing geographically expansive checkpoints and exclusion zones. By filing a joint complaint, the group wants the police oversight body to investigate the RCMP's Community Industry Response Group.
And so we're calling on the chairperson of the Civilian Review and Complaint Commission for the RCMP to initiate a public interest investigation into the CURG to ensure that the RCMP acts in accordance with the rule of law.
The federal government gave an update on the monkeypox virus on Friday. Globally, infections from the virus increased by 19% this week compared to the previous week, and there are now 1,059 cases in Canada. The majority of these cases are in Quebec and Ontario. The government says it has distributed 99,000 vaccines for the virus to provinces and territories, but has no plans to stretch this supply by administering fractional doses as is being done in the U.S. Monkeypox is largely spread by intimate contact, and about 99% of those infected in Canada are men. But Chief Public Health Officer Theresa Tam says all Canadians need to be vigilant against the virus.
It is important to stress that anyone, regardless of their sex, gender, race, or sexual orientation, can become infected with or spread the virus. We are urging everyone to be aware of the symptoms of monkeypox and learn how to reduce the risk of getting infected and spreading the virus to others.
We want to hear what you think about the stories you've seen so far tonight. Here's how to continue the conversation. Send your emails to news@aptn.ca or leave a comment on aptnnews.ca. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. The Minister of Fisheries and Oceans, MP Joyce Murray, was in Iqaluit for an announcement today and was questioned about First Nation fisheries on another coast, the East Coast. APTN News has been reporting that DFO officers in Nova Scotia have been presenting Sabaganagati First Nation lobster fishers with copies of DFO's rules for food and social First Nation fisheries. Those fishers have their own management plan and have been asking why their crews are being singled out by DFO. Some go as far as to call it harassment. We asked the fisheries minister if sending officers with rules was the best way to start this lobster fishery. Here's what she said.
We have responsibility for conservation of the stock, and that's on behalf of Mi'kmaq and all local community members. Conservation is a baseline, and so ensuring that the fisheries are being done within the limits, conservation limits, is also a important priority for our ministry. So enforcement is part of that.
All right, we need to step aside for a short break, but first to Iqaluit, where some new science is showing just how drastic climate change in the Arctic could be and some of the unforeseen consequences.
Hi, I'm Kent Driscoll, here in Iqaluit, and the trees are young. That's right, trees, here above the tree line in all this wide open tundra. A study in the science journal Nature predicts that in Alaska, the tree line is moving north at a rate of 4 kilometers a decade. That means eventually, here in Nunavut, this space, this could be the beginning of a forest. We'll speak with one of the authors of the study, and we'll also talk with Inuit to find out, what are you going to do when the trees come to town? That's coming here soon on APTN National News.
Welcome back. The 2022 World Junior Lacrosse Tournament is underway in Winnipeg. The lineup of nations playing includes Australia, Canada, Israel, Poland, the United States, and Haudenosaunee. On Thursday, Team Haudenosaunee closed out a perfect round robin and is now guaranteed to compete for a medal. With more on the team, here's Sam Jonesa.
A game as old as time is being played in Winnipeg's Canada Life Centre this week. Players between ages of 16 to 20 are battling to see who will come out on top for the World Junior Lacrosse Championship title.
When the Haudenosaunee are playing, people want to watch because they know that they're going to see a fun game.
Team Haudenosaunee is one of the teams competing and is comprised of athletes from the Six Nations, an Indigenous confederacy spanning across the Canadian-U.S. eastern border.
Us being, Haudenosaunee, like we're born into this game. It's a part of our culture. It's a part of, how we live our life.
Onayot Tegoa Miracle was deemed Player of the Game on Tuesday, August 9th, when the team broke historical record for most goals in a single game, 28 against Israel's 14. The record was broken a day later by Team Canada, with First Nations goalie Deacon Knott from Curve Lake protecting the net.
It's only right for our team to break a record like that because this is the game that we gave to everybody else. Everybody else here that's participating in this game, it's a gift from the Haudenosaunee people for them to be able to play, and it's a gift from the Creator to us.
Lacrosse has been played by Indigenous peoples for almost 1,000 years, traditionally as a means of ceremony to give thanks to the Creator, something Team Haudenosaunee never forgets.
We're just playing to have fun and entertain the Creator because we're thankful for the game that He gave us.
Sav Jonesa, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
You can catch Team Haudenosaunee and the rest of the semifinals this weekend at the Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg. Yesterday was a huge day for sports in Nunavut as the territory claimed their first ever gold medal at a Canada Games. Ikilawak Avalak of Cambridge Bay, Nunavut won gold in wrestling, and his story is the talk of the territory. He joins us now from St. Catharines, Ontario. Iki, thank you so much for joining us here today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Now, you've had roughly a day or so for this to sink in. How do you feel to be the first gold medal winner from Nunavut in Canada Games history?
It feels great. It's not just, like I said before, it's not just my moment, it's all of Nunavut's. So it's great to represent not only my territory, but my family name. So that's a huge thing for me.
Now, there are only around 1,700 people or so who live in Cambridge Bay. How did you get enough competition to be ready to win the gold like you did?
Just go back a bit with the condition and whatnot. I did that on my own or with my teammates, and training. We'd often go down to Edmonton, and they were our main hosts to why I was able to get my technique up there. So if it wasn't for the Edmonton Wrestling Club, my teammates, my coach, none of this wouldn't have been possible. So they played a big role in this.
How often did you go down to Edmonton to wrestle?
So once this year started, because as competition, as this games was this year, so my coach tried to get me down at least once a month for a week or two, or when I had no school, I'd be down in Edmonton training.
Okay, and we all saw yesterday after you won, you went straight to your coach and started crying happy tears. Can you talk about the relationship with your coach and what was going through your mind when you won?
Yeah, I've been living with him for the nearly past 2 years, and him and his wife took me under their wing, and they're like my other parents, and they mean so much to me. It was not only just happy tears, I had a lot of emotions going on. It was my late brother's birthday 6 days ago, so I dedicated the games to him. And I was just able to come out on top, and that means so much, knowing I dedicated the games to him.
And you grabbed the attention and the hearts of Inuit all over Nunavut with the win. What's your advice to other Inuit youth in smaller communities who want to succeed at sports like you did?
When there's hope, there is change. Anything is possible. The sky's the limit, and you do what you keep doing. It don't matter who's watching. Like there's a quote, dance like there's no one watching. And I wrestled like there was no one watching, despite all the cheering and whatnot. I just found focus within, blocked everything out, and just focused on that match and scoring my points. And I came out victorious, so that feels good.
Well, victorious indeed, and congratulations, Iki. We're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for taking a few minutes today, and again, congratulations on the big win.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Thousands of athletes, coaches, and family members are making their way to Edmonton this week for the largest Alberta Indigenous Games ever. Our John Murray is at Rundle Park.
The weather is great here in Edmonton. A perfect day to launch the first of the athletic events for the Alberta Indigenous Games. I'm here in Rundle Park, where Indigenous athletes are playing soccer, but venues are happening all across Edmonton. From now until August 18th. Opening ceremonies were yesterday, and today the athletes have gathered. Fans are supporting, and everything is happening here in Edmonton, Alberta. Organizers say funding. They need funding. They only have one part-time employee, but they are making these events happen because of volunteers. Catch up on all the events of the Alberta Indigenous Games by coming out and seeing them for yourself, or watch APTN National News, as we'll have more coverage next week. John Murray, APTN National News, Edmonton.
Time for one final break. Still ahead, two 11-year-old entrepreneurs from Curve Lake First Nation in Ontario have started their own lemonade stand.
It would help them out a lot, and it would be we would be thankful for it.
Welcome back. It's time now for our photo of the day. APTN's Kent Driscoll shared this shot of a local hunter, Simon Nowdlack, distributing a bowhead whale in Iqaluit. If you want to be featured as our photo of the day, email your shots to share@aptn.ca along with a location and description. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast.
Starting in the east, rain and 23 in Charlottetown and 27 in Halifax. A mix of sun and cloud and 24 in Happy Valley Goose Bay and 23 in Cartwright. 25 and sunshine in Montreal and 24 in Val-d'Or. 27 and sun in Toronto and 25 in North Bay. 20 degrees and sunny in Wawa and 26 in Sioux Lookout. Sunny and 24 in Churchill and 22 in Pockettawagan. Rain and 24 in Barons River and 27 in Winnipeg. 26 degrees in Regina and 26 in showers in North Battleford. 26 in showers in Buffalo Narrows and 23 in clear in Stony Rapids. As we move west, 24 in Fort Chippewa and 28 in Peace River. 26 and some showers in Edmonton and 30 in Calgary. 18 degrees in Tofino and 18 in Bella Coola. 18 and some showers in Sandspit and 28 in Fort Nelson. 21 and clear in Beaver Creek and 25 in showers in Old Crow. 28 and sunny in Wrigley and 28 and sunny in Fort Simpson. 29 and clear in Fort McPherson and 24 in Inuvik. 19 in Baker Lake and 16 in Chesterfield. 5 degrees in Resolute and 11 degrees in Iqaluit.
Lemonade stands can become a great way for kids to make some cash during the heat of the summer months. Two 11-year-old entrepreneurs from Curve Lake First Nation in Ontario have perfected their recipe and are making a profit, not just for themselves, but are sharing it with others. Here's Annette Francis with that story.
11-year-old Jasper Hunt is helping to set up shop. It's the second summer that Hunt has helped his buddy Hayden run the Little Punks lemonade stand. The first critical step with every lemonade stand begins in the kitchen. Entrepreneurs Hayden Radford and Jasper only use the best ingredients. It begins with rolling the lemons.
There's more juice in the lemon.
It's a favorite hydrating spot. Today, a thirsty bunch of customers from the Curve Lake Day Camp arrived to taste. 11-year-old Carmela says she's been here before.
Well, it's like homemade. It's pretty good. And it's really close.
According to Hayden's mom, Victoria Higgs, after switching the recipe to fresh ingredients, Little Punks has become quite a hit.
$2.50. Okay, actually, then grab me 4 then.
It was so successful that Jasper thought it would be a great idea to donate some of the profits to the Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto.
It would help them out a lot, and it would be like they would be thankful for it.
Higgs says she's proud of the boys' dedication. Their donation goal is $500, and they're halfway there. They even gained some notoriety with a shout-out on Live with Kelly and Ryan from New York City.
A lot of people sending in their lemonade stands. Lauren Benson from Curve Lake, Ontario. This is my nephew Hayden getting ready for his day of selling lemonade. He and his friend Jasper do such.
When I heard it, my sister actually brought over a clip from it, and my body just went into a tingle, and I had the chills from it. I didn't expect it to ever get this far and this successful like this, actually. So I'm very happy for them, very happy. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's good lemonade. You have to come try this. I'm Annette Francis.
At Little Punks Lemonade Stand in Curve Lake, Ontario.
Well, I wish I had some of that lemonade right about now. Keep working hard, guys. All right, that's all we have for you tonight on APTN National News. For more Indigenous news, visit our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Daryl Stranger. For all of us here at APTN News, thank you for joining us. Miigwech, and have a great night.